has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, Carver High. You know how I get with betting on these animals. It just never goes well for me. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what I do. And Craig was laughing at me because I said, I'm even worse with dogs than horses. But I know this, and all due respect, I say this. I have heard this is like the entire, let's say, Triple Crown this year, the entire 3 races. We've yet to hear anyone get one right. Nobody. I haven't heard one person. I'm sure there's somebody around here bragging they nailed it, but no one has picked one of them right. No one. So, here we go again. So good luck. You know what I say at the spa? Who cares about the horse race? I mean, that place is on its ear. What a party that place is. That place in the summertime, I mean, you can get in all kinds of trouble up there. I had a friend that actually worked there in the summer in the spa season as a waiter, and he made a fortune. And I mean, he slept with like 100 women. Are we on the air? Don't talk. Mafia said, look, stay off of the red phone. Okay.
You're right about that one thing. You can absolutely find some other things to do up there if you don't like horse racing. If you're not there for the horse racing, there's plenty to do up at the spa. And I will say, I am with, I mentioned this yesterday, I had Dave Aragona with me during that daily racing form spot. I like resilience. I like the 2. Well, just like Craig does there. And I think it's the 5 I like as well, whichever one Pletcher's involved with too. So Pletcher and Velasquez, that's what I'm in on Scotty with those guys. For the Belmont Stakes coming up on Sunday. How about the NBA Finals? We've been waiting a week for them to get started, and tonight we finally do tip off in Boston, game number 1. We'll start things off with Jaylen Brown. Of course, the Celtics, this core group, were in the finals a couple of years ago when they lost to the Golden State Warriors. They're back here again. They've been the favorites all year. They've had the best record in the NBA. They need to finish the job. That's what Jaylen Brown says, too.
I think this is a special group. I really do. The core group of it has been here for a few years now. We've been able to go through the experiences of, having success but not having success at the same time. So I think that, to solidify it, the ultimate goal is to get over the hump and win. I think that'll add a lot to our legacy. But as of right now, I mean, that story is still kind of untold.
I think they're the best team that doesn't have the best player, okay? So the best player is Luka Doncic in this series. Whether that comes to fruition or not is yet to be seen, but there's no disputing, there's no arguing. This guy has led the entire NBA playoffs of every single player, every single team, all of them, in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. I mean, this guy is the best player in the world right now, and he's better than the Joker as well. I know everyone wants to just keep giving the Serbian all these awards for his mantle. Meanwhile, the guy could care less. He'd rather be at the spa at the Belmont Stakes than at the NBA Finals, to be honest with you. But this guy, Luka, he's a different breed. He's not going to no horse race. My man plays basketball. That's all he does is ball. He's the best player. So the Celtics are the better team. They should win the championship. But there's one guy that can change all of that. And then he's got a little sidekick, Batman and Robin. He's got Kyrie Irving, who's also unguardable.
No doubt about that. They have the best player, that's for sure. Let's hear from Joe Mazzulla here. I thought this was funny, and you sent me this one too. The finals, talking about the stage being a little bit brighter now that they have been here at this final stage. Mazzulla says all of these playoff rounds are the same, Scotty. It doesn't matter. You've got to go out and win. It doesn't make a difference if the lights are brighter or not.
How do you stay in the moment? How is that different from the regular season? How do you get the guys to kind of stay in the moment and treat everything the same way?
Yeah, I mean, unless they change the light bulbs in the arenas, they won't be any brighter than they were in the last series. And it's just sticking
What
to
is
the
he,
details
the,
and the
from
things
Hoosiers,
that matter.
the
And
movie?
the truth of the
The
matter
rim's
is,
10
if you don't
feet.
box out, if you don't sprint back in transition, if you don't pass the ball in a 2-on-1, if you don't take away the other team's tendencies, if you don't know who you're guarding, if you don't recognize the spacing, if you don't talk, if you don't play hard, you're not going to win. It's like,
I was going to say
focusing on the most simple things and the truth of the matter is you have to do those things. You got to do them at a high level. And, obviously the stakes are higher, but that just means that the details are more important.
Listen,
I hope
this
isn't really
honestly.
him. I hope that this is like something that he just does when he's talking to the media, because let me tell you, if he's like that at parties,
He's a stiff.
That's just a tough scene. I mean, he is a major stiff, that guy. He's got no personality whatsoever.
None.
I hope he's not like that around the team, like on the plane or in practice. He's just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. They're not changing the light bulbs. We're going to win a basketball game.
I'm worried about his wife. Like, if that's what you're coming home to, is seeing that guy coming through the door with that personality, I'd rather, marry a dog, honestly, because this guy is an absolute, he's like a garage door. I've said it before. His personality is nil. Do you think he'll drink some champagne and smile if they win the championship? Because, he is, what a horrible, he's so grim. He's the Grim Reaper. We may have to start calling him the Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper Missoula. God, that would be so. I don't want to see the Celtic win. I'm obviously on the Mavericks here. I want the Mavericks to win. But I'm interested, like you said, if they ever won, would this guy actually crack a smile, if that's even possible? Before I play you Kyrie Irving, of course, for the 900th time this week, talking about going back, something having to do with going back to Boston, how about we hear from Drew Holiday, who's going to have the assignment, probably, Scotty, of trying to lock down Kyrie Irving during this series. Well, what do we have to do, Drew?
I'm sure there'll be plenty of possessions where you're locked up one-on-one against Kyrie Irving. What's that challenge like? What can you do to try to nullify, thwart, stop, whatever it is?
Pray.
Kyrie.
Pray. Yeah. That's it. Pray. He's right. It ain't easy. It ain't easy trying to guard him, Scotty.
He's as good as it gets defensively on the perimeter. So if anyone has a shot at giving him, problems and grief, it would be Holiday. I think if it were Smart, it would be a lot of flopping and a lot of drama and some technicals to go with it and a lot of arguing because Smart he's an actor more than he is, in my opinion, talented. I think he's a really tough guy that is one of the greatest actors I've ever seen in the NBA at flopping and getting calls and arguing calls and getting his way somewhere down the road in the game. But when it comes to pure perimeter defense, there's no discussion. Holiday is better than Smart 10 times till Sunday. Not 6, 10 times.
No doubt about that. Here is Kyrie Irving. Of course, we've heard him a bunch of times this week. He's talked about kind of like what we've heard for the last few months, Scotty, saying all the right things. It's unfortunate things didn't work out there. I could have handled myself better there in the playoffs when I was with Brooklyn. Lots of things like that. Here he is on dealing with the Boston crowd.
I've experienced Boston in twofold. My first few years being in the NBA playing for the Cavs, then coming here to Boston, then being right down the street in Brooklyn, and then now being here in the finals playing against them in the potential 4 to 7 game series. You just got to breathe through it. To all my youngins out there that are dealing with some of the crowd reactions and what they're saying to you, have to breathe and realize that this is not as hostile as you think it is. Don't overthink it, and been able to work through that and understand that some of that is anxiety, some of that is nervousness, and it could all be turned into a strength. There's no fear out here, man. It's basketball. The fans are going to say what they're going to say. I appreciate them and their relationship they have to the game, but it's about the players at the end of the day.
It's simple. No one can stop him, so what does he give a rat's ass what the crowd's yelling at him? He's going to go off whether they're screaming and yelling obscenities or not.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
3-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
What's Luka saying heading into tonight's game at the Garden?
Of course, Luka and Kyrie being together here has been a great match for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka very excited heading into his first NBA Finals and excited to have Kyrie by his side.
I mean, his leadership is amazing. The way he connects us. I think me and Kai are the leaders of this team. But he's the one that's been in the finals. He's the one that won the finals. So he's the one that is really leading it, and he's keeping us all together and motivated.
Listen, there's no arguing any of that. It's real simple. This guy performs at a level like we haven't seen in a long time. Like, total domination, taking over games. Like, Michael Jordan. Like, honestly, like LeBron James. And I do not believe, frankly, and I know he's the greatest scorer ever. That's because he's played 20 years. And he's such a phenomenal player, LeBron, and incredible. I always told you for years he'd break every record known to man. I still think Luka Doncic is a better offensive player than him. What that guy can do with a basketball, LeBron doesn't even do. Like, LeBron has dominated the basketball world for 20 years because of his size and strength and his athleticism and ability to stay healthy, right? He is just he's such a physical specimen, takes such great care of his body in the offseason. No one can stop him. Meanwhile, this guy's a fat slob who eats donuts and pizza and drinks beer. And same thing with Joker, the Serbian. He's a fat, slow, can't even run. But no one can stop either one of them because they've got mad offensive skills. This guy, Luka, to me, he's like, oh my God, watching this guy play. Now remember, he was literally in the beginning of the playoffs crying like he was injured. And his body, his shoulder, his knee, his feet. Oh, how am I ever going to make it? But he never once came out. He just kept scoring and scoring and scoring and rebounding and passing and stealing. Oh, my body. Oh, I'm never going to. He's so full of Shaq. It's not even funny. He's just a fat slob that no one can stop. And now all of a sudden we're in the finals and he's healthy and fine. What's his excuse going to be if he loses? He'll go back to saying, I've been so injured the whole time. Because he don't lose. And he's not injured. He just scores and eats you alive, passes you to death. Like his lobs and his no-looks and his finding the right guy to shoot is absolutely ridiculous.
Certainly is, and he will get a start on that tonight in Boston against the Celtics. It's been 6.5 really all week. There has not been much change in terms of the point spread. There has been a change today, though, in terms of the total. It's been 214.5 pretty much all week. And then today, it's been hammered up to 216.5 for the total.
I got it at 214.5. I like the over at that number. I'm not interested in where it's going now. I've heard everyone say, don't go near Luka and Kyrie at 6.5. Everyone's betting on it. I don't care what everybody's doing. Those guys can cover any spread. You got two of the greatest scorers in the world. They can cover anything. No lead is safe with those two guys on the floor. And let me tell you something. I think they are a way more physical, rugged team than the Boston Celtics, who I believe are a skilled, finesse, shooting extraordinarily well type of basketball team. They shoot the ball well. A lot of guys, even Hauser, he had the second most threes on the team. Pritchard can knock it down. They all can shoot. They're all a bunch of shooters. And this other team's bangers. And then two guys that are unstoppable. P.J. Washington, Gafford, Lively, all of them are physical. And the only guy that just stands there and shoots on that team is Kleber, right? And then Hardaway barely plays anymore. This is all about Luka, Kyrie, and then bangers. And Gafford's block shots and is a banger. And that candy-ass Porzingis ain't going to do anything against those bangers. He's going to shoot from 30 because that's all he can do. He's afraid to go inside because he knows he's a candy-ass. No one is afraid of that toothpick. Trust me, this is the NBA. They're not afraid of Chet Holmgren either. And Wembanyama, they all think that they're all too skinny. We're not afraid of them. You'll see Porzingis stands out 30 feet the whole game.
Stands out there, and the Zinger will be back tonight, of course, for game number 1. The Mavericks have been underdogs a lot in these playoffs so far. In fact, 7 times. They're 6-1 ATS in the playoffs as underdogs. So like you said, I ain't as scared, Scotty, with this 6.5 tonight. They've gotten it done plenty in this spot.
I'll tell you another thing. Like, I don't deny. I've always liked Porzingis. He can knock it down. There's no denying it. Let's see him knock it down in a game 1 of an NBA Finals when he hasn't played in a month. Let's see him go out there because everyone thinks he's the difference. I've heard this over and over for a week that now they got this guy back and that he's going to put him over the top. My effing ass. It's about Tatum and Brown, this team, and White has more juice. Honestly. Even Al Horford has more juice. He bangs, he defends, he knocks down threes. Hauser, Pritchard, they all do more than this guy who never plays, whose body is built like, the Jenga. He's like the Jenga. He tips over and falls and the game's over. My man can't stay healthy. I give him about 2 games before he's whining again about his body. I give him 4 years, he's out of the league. He's a candy ass. That's it. Everyone knows it.
People seem to think that he's going to show up tonight and make something happen. The most bet player props tonight, 2 of them are Porzingis. You have Lively over 1.5 assists, Gafford under 1.5 blocks, Porzingis over 23.5 points, rebounds, assists, Kyrie over 31.5 points, rebounds, assists, and Porzingis over 1.5 threes. The most bet player props for tonight.
So over 23.5 points for Porzingis. I'll go under, and then over 1.5 threes. Is that what you said? Well, he can hit 2 threes. He can hit 2 threes, but I don't see him doing much more than a few. Like, I don't see him having some big 30-point night. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, the guy can definitely shoot. I've seen him shoot. I've seen him play. I like him. He's been out for a long time, and don't tell me going to walk through, suddenly you get all heated up.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
20-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Now, I was looking at props, Carver High, for this game tonight, and here's one that I saw that caught my eye. Moneyline Celtics to win. Tatum 30+. Tatum 8+ dimes. White 6+ dimes. And Holiday 4+ dimes. That makes sense to me. I saw this other one that I don't like. White 20+, Porzingis 15+, Holiday 10+, Tatum 12+ rebounds, and Brown 3-point field goals over 1.5. My problem there is, frankly, I'll believe it when I see it, that this guy's going to come out and drop 30 tonight, like everyone thinks he's going to. Or is he going to have 12 or 14? The numbers, a lot of props I see around houses are, at 15 points. Right? Like, let's calm down on the guy with the bad wheels and that never plays, okay? Honestly, I'd be more worried about Al Horford. They always leave him wide open. The guy knocks down threes like ad nauseum. But everyone acting like Porzingis is the reason that the Celtics are going to win the NBA championship, I think are tripping. And I love the guy. I've always loved him. We call him the Zinger. I've always loved him. I do not believe he can carry any team to an NBA championship. He didn't in Dallas. He didn't in Washington. He didn't in New York. And I think he's just part of it. I think he makes them better. But that's all I'll give you. I think he makes them a better team, a more dangerous team. He's just another guy. He's 7 foot whatever and can shoot threes from deep. I'll give you that. If he's on, if he's off, he does nothing. If he's off, he does nothing. You've seen it. He played here in New York. When he's off, he does nothing.
Nothing. He is a help. It's going to if he's healthy, they absolutely are going to be better with him out there. But it's still the train still gets driven through
He's
Tatum
healthy.
and Brown.
I give you this on his health. I'll give him. He's tenuous at best.
Exactly. I wouldn't go at the 100% marker. That's for sure. We know that the Celtics are favored for the series. If you want the Mavs, it's plus 180 now for them, minus 225 there. The Finals MVP, Tatum and Luka, are the favorites at the top. You get yourself Brown and Kyrie at that next level. Man, that Kyrie number, Scotty, is down to 14. It was 26 last week. So there's been heavy action, it seems like, on Kyrie Irving to win that NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah, listen, I think they want to, the league, and I think their business and their partners and their TV and everyone involved, I think they want it to be obviously Tatum or Doncic and no one else. All the other parties don't matter to them. That's what they prefer. I think that's why Tatum and Doncic. For me, the reason Tatum's on top is because they're favored to win it all. And they have been since the jump. But the reality is, in my opinion, unequivocally, Luka's better. He's a better player. And I think we've seen this guy, Tatum, melt down in the finals. Melt down. In Game 6, when they lost to the Warriors, he had 13 points. Mm-hmm. That is an atrocious night for a guy that scores 35 points, okay? So when you score 30, 35 a night and all your props are 30 plus, and you come out and put a 13 burger up, I mean, you might as well have stayed home with the flu. So people are saying if he does this again in the finals and doesn't come through, people are going to start bashing him. Meanwhile, I've heard if he wins, he's getting his jersey retired in Boston and a banner lifted up to the rafters. Like, well, which is it? I mean, which is it? Make up your mind. Is he a closer? Well, we haven't seen that yet. So now we're waiting to see if he's going to close this time. And if he closes, they're going to give him the MVP. If he doesn't close, he's going to get heat like you. He's going to have a long, hot summer, as they like to call it, a long, hot summer. I mean, he might as well go somewhere far away and go hide with his son because they will abuse him till no end if they don't win this chip. Because everyone in Boston, everyone, trust me, I know. You and I were on there forever together, all of us, me, you, and Mavi. They think they're winning every championship. And if they don't, they blame someone. They're going to blame him. Not Missoula. They're going to blame Tatum.
Scott Foster and Tony Brothers are among the officials.
Oh, God.
Who will be part of the NBA Finals. So get ready to see them out there at different parts during this series, Scotty.
Well, they won't put up with Luka Doncic's bull shack. I know that. Brothers and Foster aren't going to put up with it. They'll tee him up.
Using the parlays against one another, right, and being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Warriors learn some of that split action that they run offensively and bring it to your own team. Folks, the name is Kenny Atkinson. Every time there is a job with a young core that needs to take the next step, I always think of Kenny Atkinson.
Only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
So this BetMGM first bet offer is so huge. It was weird because a lot of people waited a week for the NBA Finals, and people are like talking about the NBA Finals and Tatum and Luka and all this. And then there was another level of society, which was like 90% that were talking about the BetMGM first bet 1,500. So it was 90-10. 90% wanted to talk about the BetMGM first bet 1,500 paid back to you and bonus bets to your account. And 10% of the public wanted to talk about the NBA Finals. No one cares about the finals that haven't started yet. People care about getting 1,500 in bonus bets in their account when they lose a bet. How about this? You sign up for the mobile account on iOS or Android. You open your account, put 10 in it, make a bet, you lose the bet. Let's say the bet loses and it's done. Wager settled, you lose. And you're like this, I'm a loser. Well, then you turn around and walk 4 steps and look at your phone and you got 1,500 in bonus bets in it. Then you really don't care who wins game 1 of the NBA Finals because you got 1,500 in bonus bets in your account, baby. Check it out at betmgm.com. Download the app. You're going to love it. And remember, you make a bet, you lose, they're giving you 1,500, up to 1,500 back in bonus bets. So if you bet 700, you get 700 back, 1,000 back. You lose 1,500, 1,500. It is just unbelievable. It's criminal. It's honestly, someone should look into it because it's turned the public off. No one even wants to watch the finals because people are rushing to sign up for BetMGM. Coach Young is with us on the Lion's Share. And I said earlier, real simple, if they give them enough power, enough money, and you get to walk your dog on a beach in Malibu, and it's 80 degrees every day of the year, and you got a little tan, a little bronze going, and you're not watching a guy shovel your driveway with a truck in Storrs, Connecticut for $100 when you're filthy rich anyway. If you're filthy rich, no one wants to live in snow and ice. If you're filthy rich, you want to live near Malibu and walk your dog on the beach. And I say he takes the job.
Scotty, good to be on with you. Yeah, when I woke up this morning and I saw the tweet, I immediately started reaching out to people. Me being a Jersey basketball coach and having some knowledge of some people I know the Hurleys, I just tried to figure out if this is real. Folks, this isn't smoke. This is a 5-alarm fire. There are a couple of things that add up. Number one, Dan Hurley wants to coach in the NBA. It's always been a dream of Danny. Number two, he's going to get the money. He's only getting about $5 million a year with UConn. He sat on an extension, and supposedly the numbers are being thrown around Hurley are what, $12 to $15 million a year. That's generational money, right? I know he's loyal to his players. I know he's a Northeast guy. But this is one of these things where I think it lines up. He tell you, yeah, money talks, right? What $1 Million Man said, everyone's got a price. And I'm sure Danny has this. And also, in doing my digging and talking to people, one thing I found out is there are people in the Hurley camp that have reached out to people that I know about the possibility of going to LA. He ain't doing this if he's not seriously interested. And the fact that he had practice today and basically admitted to the players, hey, I'm negotiating. One thing that I love about Dan and the whole Hurley family, they don't lie. They're straight shooters. They're not phonies. Whether you like them or not, they're straight shooters. Danny walked in, told the guys, I'm talking to the Lakers. Simply put, Ferrall, by the end of the weekend, Ferrall, shoot, by tomorrow. I think Dan Hurley is going to be announced as the next head coach for the Lakers. And this is not Calipari. This is not Patino. I think his style of play, he's going to win in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I said all that earlier. I said he's better than those guys. He's a better coach. He's a better motivator. He turns ballers into great ballers. He turns ballers into pro ballers. He makes sets that pro ballers lick their chops at when they see him run his sets. He is crazy like a fox. He's crazy like his dad. I told people the truth. I know him. He's been on the show. He's friendly with me. He's cool with me. And he is so intense and so crazy that he thinks, first of all, they said to him, the challenge, he can't win back-to-back. Well, he did that. Then they said he can't win 3 in a row, and he'd go do that. But then they'll say he can't coach in the NBA. It'll never work. He's too crazy. I'll tell you what, crazy like a fox. That guy, anyone that challenges that guy or his father, he's a spitting image of his father. Bobby's not like his dad. Danny is. And his dad was the most hardcore guy in the history of basketball. No practice of any level, yours or anyone else you know, has ever been as bad as his. He is the most grueling coach anyone's ever played for. He's got all the championships to prove it. And so does his son, because he's just like him. His challenge to take on the Los Angeles Lakers, the greatest franchise in the history of pro basketball, you're going to turn them down if they offer you total power and tons of money? You must be nuts to live in snow and ice. You got to be nuts.
No.
He's crazy enough to think he can go win a title in his first year.
And that's the thing about Dan is the ultimate competitor. And really quick, when I coached against Bob Hurley, a quick story. Bob Hurley is one of the most intense, the most intense coach I've ever coached against. Like, I was petrified to talk to Coach Hurley. And I sit down next to Coach Hurley, and he looks at one of my kids. Hey, is that Licardi? Is that Blumel? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, they're pretty good. I said, well, you got Dominic Cheek. He goes, yeah, but them two kids are way tougher than my kid. And that kid was a McDonald's All-American. Listen, Dan is that maniacal, that crazy, that he thinks he can win in L.A. And the funny thing is, I'm not betting against him.
He will. He will win.
You said something really quick. The style of play, 99th percentile in pick and roll offense and giving the ball to the roller, 93rd percentile in pick and roll offense to the ball handler. But also his ability to develop players. Look what he did with Tristan Newton, who came from East Carolina. Look what he did with Diarra. Klingon was a two-star recruit. He turned him into a top 5 kid. What he did with Castle, Caravan. This guy, even when his days at Rhode Island and Wagner, he is great at skill development. And when you look at the Lakers, you look at Max Christie, you look at Hachimura, you look at a guy like Austin Reeves, right? You look at Hood Chafino. There are young guys that have to be developed. Now is the time when you may start to see college guys go to the pros, because Dan's been doing it basically in college, running a pro style. So to me, it lines up for I think it's a slam dunk hire, and he's going to win in the NBA.
I'll tell you another thing. My man doesn't put up with any Shaq. Oh, no. So if you don't get in the program, he'll get rid of you. That'll be the end of you. Even at the Lakers, at a pro level, if you don't want to, he don't care who you are. LeBron and AD are going to get their free pass. Anyone else on that team is open season to getting tossed. He'll clean house. You don't listen to him and do what he says, you're out. All right, coach, I need your picks for tonight. Game 1 of the NBA Finals in Boston.
I'm going to make it quick. I'm going Mavs plus 6.5 tonight. I think it's a situation where Dallas is really good defensively. I'm a little concerned about Zinger's first game and how to integrate them back in the offense. And Luke and Kyrie come out gunning. Give me the Mavs plus the 6.5.
It sounds like a broken record because I said the same thing. I don't trust some guy that's soft and that's been out a month that has bad wheels just because he can knock down threes at the walk around. Now, if he goes out and has 35, I'll eat a crow sandwich. Who else? You got P.J. Washington filling it up.
You're not eating a crow sandwich. P.J. Washington, over 11.5 points. The last 6 times he's gone against Boston, he scored 14 or more. P.J. Washington should be able to score. I like him over 11.5 points.
So what's the Kyrie play against Jaylen Brown? What do you got going here?
Yeah, it's just basically Kyrie to make at least one more 3 than Jaylen Brown is minus 105 on MGM. Just go looking for it in the points section. This is a matchup that I like because I think Kyrie is going to come out gunning. I think Kyrie is going to be very aggressive, better shooter. Jaylen Brown, they're going to get up to him, force him to his left. Kyrie makes at least one more 3 than Jaylen Brown.
If you get the UConn job, I'll be an assistant or a water boy for you in stores. When Danny leaves, they should give you that job.
I want to go to LA. I want her to call me.
Come on.
Video
Come
guy.
on. We love snow and ice. Come on.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
The Warriors learn some of that split action that they run offensively and bring it to your own team. Folks, the name is Kenny Atkinson. Every time there is a job with a young core that needs to take the next step, I always think of Kenny Atkinson.
Only on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Using the parlays against one another, right? And being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Davis Maddock is from Fantasy Sports Today. You can catch him on Saturdays on that show, but even better, you can catch him every day on C2C like a champ. And you can follow him on X for free at Davis Maddock, Mattek. Davis Lee Roth, let me ask you this. You know I'm going there. You know I'm going. I got to go there. So Jared Jones and Paul Skeens. What they did the last 2 nights against the Los Angeles Dodgers vaunted lineup, and the fact that they are, what are they? It's embarrassing. They're 1 game out of the last wild card. Do you believe that this staff with these two, and I don't know what Chapman's on. He was throwing 104 miles an hour last night against the Dodgers. And I mean, multiple pitches, 103, 103, 104. I mean, I don't know what he's on, the fuel he's putting in, the premium he's putting in his veins, but that guy looks like he's 25 years old again. Do you believe, based on the senior circuit, as many teams that have a shot, even the Mets are only 3.5 out of a wild card, that the Pirates, with those 2 great young pitchers, could actually make the wild card in the playoffs this year?
Oh, I mean, they definitely could, especially because their lineup is not it's not as bad as you might think, given that they have a pitching staff this good. I mean, McCutchen at age 37 is actually having a good season. Edward Olivares, who used to play for my Kansas City Royals, is having a very solid season in the outfield. Brian Reynolds is always good. Cabrian Hayes is trending in the right direction. I wish O'Neal Cruz would stop striking out, all the time. I wonder if there may be a couple moves away, a shortstop and a middle infielder away from having a more competitive lineup. They also have the weakest division in baseball, probably, I think you'd say, on the balance of power. I mean, the Brewers are quite good, but the Cubs, Cardinals, and the Reds are either middling or below average. I hope they make a run because it would be very cool. I mean, Scotty, the issue is going to be, though, that if they do make a run, if they do win the wild card, Skeens and Jones might not be pitching by then. They might have been shut down for the season because I don't think either one of them is going to – 150 innings I think would be the absolute maximum for these guys.
Yeah, I got to question that if they're going to make the playoffs. If that guy, first of all, that kid Skeens is an animal. Can you imagine going in to tell him he's not going to pitch anymore, how that's going to go over with him? You know what that'll do? That'll open the door to him leaving Pittsburgh in 5 years, as sure as I'm sitting here. Like, what I would do if I were them is let him do whatever he wants. The guy's an animal. He throws 100 miles an hour on every pitch, and when he wants to slow it down, he'll throw an 88-mile-an-hour change. I mean, he is baffling. What he did to Ohtani, now, granted, Ohtani ripped a home run, but he struck him out on 3 pitches swinging like he didn't even matter. So, and Ohtani said his stuff is filthy.
And Ohtani would know, because I bet every pitcher in Major League Baseball gives Ohtani the best tricks that they got. You know, their best fastball, their best off-speed stuff, their best pitch mix. They're giving it to Ohtani. And I mean, probably the very impressive thing about Skeens is he's also getting deep into these games. Like, he's going 90, 95, 100 pitches every single time. Organizations generally don't do that with these younger guys, especially when they first come up. Remember Jared Jones, his second start, he went 55 pitches or something. And Paxton, by the way, just got absolutely lit up. Didn't even make it out of the second inning in that game. Not that the Dodgers are really all that worried about it, but a pretty comprehensive victory by your black and yellow Pittsburgh Pirates.
So in 2009, it was the Yankees and Phillies, right? And the Yankees won the World Championship. Both of them are terrorizing baseball this year. You know what the Yankees are doing with Judge and Soto, Stanton. All 3 of them are just knocking the ball to hell and back. And then Bryce Harper and the Phillies are winning. I mean, what are they, 25 games over 500 already? Like, do you think that they're headed for a collision course? Or is it the Dodgers that everyone's fooled by, that they're the cream of baseball and are going to the World Series when they go once, twice? They won it once. They remind me of the Braves. They're always favored, and then they never do it. And then they might get one once a decade. They'll get one. Like, fair enough?
Hot take for me. I actually think the Yankees are more vulnerable than the Phillies. I think the Phillies have a better postseason recipe than the Yankees do. You look at the Yankees pitching staff, they have a bunch of guys who are solid. Nasty Nestor, solid. Carlos Rodon actually has been looking like that free agent contract is going to work out for them. He added this new sliding pitching mix. It's working very well. I am shorting Marcus Stroman, Clark Schmidt, and probably Louis Gill for the rest of the season relative to how good they've been. I mean, Gill has been phenomenal. Maybe I'll be wrong about that. Maybe Gill actually is one of the 10 best pitchers in the American League. But in this inevitable World Series, if it does go that way, I think I would take the Phillies. And I think it's just more likely that the Yankees lose before that point, whereas the Phillies, their 3 playoff starters are written in stone. You don't got to change them, and you're not worried about any of those guys in a playoff start either.
Do you buy, real quick, do you buy the Guardians, Seattle, Brewers, any of those teams that are having really good seasons? Do you buy any of them?
I don't. I mean, I buy that they can make the playoffs. I buy that they can win, a divisional series or whatever. But do I buy any of them as like World Series contenders, best teams in baseball? No. I mean, I would love to be wrong about Seattle if they made like 2 hitting additions. I mean, they just have some guys in their lineup that are absolute zeros thus far. Their pitching is very strong. They have Julio, but no, I don't.
All right, so who do you like tonight? You got an NBA game 1 pick for me and a couple of baseball.
Yep, we're going Celtics. I'm probably unpopular here on SportsGrid. I would guess most people are taking the Mavericks and the points. Mavericks as the road underdogs. Look, Celtics are the best team in the NBA. The Jays are very good players. They are, Luka is better than Tatum, but Jalen is better than Kyrie, and the Boston is deeper. In baseball, we are going to go with the Padres money line. Feel pretty strong about that one. It's a good spot for them. And then we're going to wrap it up with the Yankees run line, liking that spot. I've been doing that one, copying that move from you.
And then the Padres game is at Petco against Arizona. So great stuff, Davis. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Thank you.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy Sports Today.
Be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
And guess what? I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
Sometimes you think the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
3-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Still some basketball news outside of the NBA Finals that's intriguing.
Yeah, I just have a couple of other things, and then we're going to get into all the baseball and the hockey in hour number two. In hour number two, Scotty, we'll get to that. Potential top 10 pick in the NBA draft, Nikola Topic. A torn ACL for him. So not a good scene for him. Was expected to be a top 10 pick. Maybe
he can play.
Will if somebody... He can play, no doubt about that. We've talked about this draft, a lot of European players that are going to be at the top of it, so not a good scene for him. The Sixers want OG Anunoby in free agency. Honestly, who wouldn't want OG Anunoby, Scotty? I know the Knicks want him back. Yeah. That would be brutal if they lost him to the Sixers, though.
You know, this is the thing. Like, we already knew that the Knicks got him and had to try to keep him and have to pay him handsomely because he's going to get offers that could be substantially better elsewhere. So why wouldn't Philly want to steal this guy from the Knicks and screw the Knicks and put themselves? Can you imagine Embiid, Maxey, and Anunoby? But the deal is with Anunoby, we know there's a price to pay for signing him to a big deal as he misses a lot of games. He's always got injury problems. As far as Topic goes, he's long, he can score, he's a badass guard that can fill it up. Internationally, he's already done it. But now we know he's going to be out a year. So I want to see, he was a top 10 pick. And now I want to see who's got the guts to draft him anyway, to wait a year because he's going to have his knee reconstructed. So a lot of teams, I think, back off of him now because of this injured knee.
You know who's going to end up getting him, Scotty, is probably some team in the 20 to 30 range that made the playoffs this past year that can take, can be willing to wait a year for him to get healthy and then end up with a really good player down the road. By the way, me and you were talking about that Morikawa shot that was by the water. He made it not a bad chip, Scotty. He's pretty close. He's going to save par here, it looks like.
Nice.
As he's having himself a hell of a round.
He was very speed up, shot. Club down, right on the water's edge. Brutal chip. You and I would have sent it over to green. He put it on the stick.
Right by the stick. Great shot by Colin. WNBA for you. Asia Wilson of the Vegas Aces puts up a historic line last night in the win over Dallas, First player in WNBA history with at least 35 points, 10 boards, and 5 steals. That's a hell of a night right there, Scotty.
She's the best player in the WNBA, and it's not even close right now. She's a badass. And this other story that you have about a scare for that Chicago team at their hotel is not cool.
Not cool at all. Security steps in between a man and Kennedy Carter at the team's hotel in D.C. Of course, the Chicago Sky are playing there tonight. The gentleman, now, there's a video going around, Scotty. A lot of the Sky players have said on social media that video that the guy put out that has now been deleted, nothing ever gets deleted on social media, as we know, does not have the full exchange of him initially going after them when they were getting off the bus. It just shows him asking her questions about Caitlin Clark. But you do see the guy kind of put his hand in his face, the security guy that was with them, and take care of business. But they've had quite the week and a half, the Chicago Sky, that's for sure.
Well, the thing is, for me, is that, what'd you expect after your little performance last weekend and what happened? And then their reaction to it for 2 days afterwards, where they basically told everyone to F off, and we don't care what you think, and we're balling, and if you don't like it. And then we heard 2 days later, the coach said, she handled it poorly. 2 days late, Witherspoon, you lose. You can't do it 2 days later. It's like when we always say walking it back. 2 days later, you can't be all ethical after you're a thug in the press conference as the head coach of the team. And then the other one, Reese, she's been crying ever since. The league matters because of me, too. And, now she's like saying, oh, we're getting death threats and we're not safe. And you see, this is all because of her. No, it's all because of you. It's all because of you. The way you guys handled yourselves against the Fever, and the Fever suck, and so do you, by the way. You both suck. Your teams are horrible. The way you all handled it and the way she handled it was entirely different. Clark said, I'm just going to take it, and I'm not going to retaliate. I'm not going to do anything. You guys ran with it for a week, and you're still blaming her for all your problems because you're all so pathetically jealous of her that you're a joke.
The Warriors learn some of that split action that they run offensively and bring it to your own team. Folks, the name is Kenny Atkinson. Every time there is a job with a young core that needs to take the next step, I always think of Kenny Atkinson.
Only on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Using the parlays against one another, right? And being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.